All right, Adam, we are live. The World Cup draw that took forever. Oh my God, dude, it took forever. Jesus, man.
We'll get to the coverage conversation in a little bit. We got to talk about it. But let's not lead with that. Oh my God.
Yeah, but we finally got the draw after a long time. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But the USA's group, Paraguay, Australia. Oh, go on the background. Sorry. USA, Paraguay, Australia. Then there's a play-in. Let me read the teams real quick because I don't want to miss any team. There's 4 teams that are going to have a play-in for that last European spot to play in our group stage. Turkey, Romania, Slovakia, and Kosovo. We're going to be the last 4 teams to play for that one spot in our group stage. Adam, what is your instant reaction to this group?
Slow clap, just like I'm jacked. There are so many different ways that could have gone, Will. And the whole thing, right? Next summer. Now, you still got to go play the games. These are World Cup teams. And the World Cup, in all honesty, right? I think we in the United States often think about March Madness is probably the most hectic sporting event, right? In terms of just wild outcomes, first couple weekends, right? You don't get much more unpredictability in the US than that. I actually think the World Cup has a little bit of that, right? If you look historically, it's everything seems so written in stone when you look at the teams on paper sometimes, and then you look at the results. I would challenge you to go back and look at any World Cup, and you'll go through in half the groups, you're that team came out of that group. Right. And the US has been that team, right? 2014, we were that team. It was on paper.
Oh God, yeah.
I remember watching that draw, and I remember on paper being well, there goes our World Cup. In my brain, I was well, no chance. All right. And we came out of the group. So it can go a lot of ways. You still have to play the games, but man, it's a win. Today was a win, right? I mean, it's the first win, and it's an off-field win. But it's, I don't know, maybe the biggest obstacle, honestly.
Yeah, well, real quick, too, just to remind people, that group stage we had that Adam's referring to, we had Germany, who won the World Cup. Portugal was prime Ronaldo, 28, 29 years old. And Ghana, who is one of the best teams in Africa at that time. That was the literal group of death, right? I don't know how the hell we still made it out of that group.
Ghana, who beat us in 2010, right?
Beat us in 2010,
in the knockout. So it was I remember being well, we're not beating. I was can we get a result against Portugal or Germany? In my brain, I was maybe a tie. So it's a tie and a loss. Now we got to go play Ghana. So now we got to beat Ghana to get 4 points. Is 4 points going to get through? It was crazy.
Well, real quick too, because I want to remind people, because it's hard to believe. Do you ever sit back and think, man, it was 4 years ago? It's hard to believe that 2022 was almost 4 years ago. Our group stage for the 4 years ago too was Iran, Wales, and England. I think this group is very favorable to us. Now, I don't think we're completely out of the woods. It just really depends on who this European team is that wins, because we saw Turkey did look really good against us this summer. But Australia, we've beat. Paraguay, we've beat. 2 of these teams we've literally beat out of our last 3 matches. I think this is a very favorable group stage for us. It's better than Mexico and I think Canada's group stage.
Without a doubt. And if you just look pot 2 specifically, there were just grenades across the board. There were landmines all over the place in pot 2. And to come out with Australia, that was the moment I was okay, we're going to be okay. Right. Once again, nothing's easy. Nothing's guaranteed. I don't think either you or I, Will, are sitting here saying guaranteed we're getting out of the group now. No, you got to go play the games, but you have to get good opponents that you're going to match up with favorably. And I think we did that. And Australia was the win, though, right? You could have come out of that pot 2 with just disastrous second teams to play, because then you get Turkey as the European. We also dodged some bullets in pot 4, right? The Italy playoff, way tougher. I thought the first playoff that came out was a bit tougher as well. So you got tougher, and we were going to get, just so everybody knows, we were going to get a European team at that point, because there had to be a European team in every single group. If you were watching, he said that multiple times, right? So I was kind of looking at, I was scrambling. I was what are these playoffs again? Oh my God, what are they? I was oh, don't give us the, and it was a 1 in 4 shot of getting, now Italy has to make it too, right? They haven't made it in forever, but 1 in 4 shot of potentially getting Italy. I was no, that's no good, right? And then there were a couple other, so it was Turkey, Italy. What were the other 2 lead teams in those? Do you have it offhand?
Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Let's see.
While you, I'll vamp a little while you go. So I think like when I was looking at it, to me, Turkey was the third or the fourth in my brain. Now it wasn't. There's not that big of a difference, right? And there's no guarantee Turkey comes out. Those playoffs are really notoriously challenging and also really fun. But I'm kind of excited to have one of the European playoffs in a way, Will, because there's some at stake soccer for us. Like I'm going to be watching those games, right? I would already watch those games, but I'm going to be watching those games with a different lens now, right? Because now it's our opponent. Like I'm going to be sitting there watching, whoever it is, Turkey play. I forget who they play first, and it's going to be have stakes for us. So that's exciting as well.
Can you see this?
Yep.
Okay. What did you ask me again? You asked me which pot?
Yeah. The four Europeans, the four whites. I don't know. You probably can't zoom in at all. It's tough to see on the screen, but
yeah, I don't think it shows them specifically. It doesn't have.
I'll pull it up. We can kind of talk through, who we think might come out of those as well. But
I think the Italy group, which you're talking about, though, the playoff was the toughest one of the playoffs.
It was for sure.
And when are those going to be decided? Like when are they going to play those games? Is that soon? So are we going to know who we're going to be playing within the next month?
No. I think they're played in the spring.
The spring.
Wow. March. I just looked it up. March 26th and March 31st.
Wow, that's really late.
I know. Yeah,
that's really late.
Like, I remember watching last time. It didn't impact us, but it was they're such cool games. Like they are essentially World Cup play-in games, right? In the US, we have, a number of things. NCAA tourney, NBA now has it like a play-in, and it's really cool. It's kind of as like giving you a World Cup before the World Cup. So it's fun.
Hey, real quick, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you give us a like down below and share with a friend. Adam, my good friend, and I are breaking down the group stage for the USMNT. We finally got, the teams we're going to play in 2026 in our group, and it's very exciting times. It feels real. It's just right around the corner, man. 6 months, even after that abysmal pre-draw show, whatever the hell that was, is terrible. Still, you can't bring us down. We're excited. This is probably, Adam, no joke, this is probably the most excited I've been USMNT-wise since you and I came on about a little over a year ago when we hired Pochettino. That's like as excited as I've been. Guys, make sure you give us a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Yeah, I mean, listen, man. So I want to get your opinion on this group. Okay, we don't know who the fourth team is going to be, but let's just, of all the teams I've named, real quick, because I'm just curious of the four who are going to have the play in. You just mentioned, in American culture, it's very common. Turkey, Romania, Slovakia, and Kosovo. Who do you think is probably the most likely of that group to make it into our group stage?
Turkey, I think, will be the favorite in that.
Yeah,
as a runaway, but I just warn everyone again, like Romania plays Turkey first, then Slovakia plays Kosovo, right? And Turkey, I can almost guarantee you that like Turkey, Romania is going to be a grind fest. And it's going to be like, so it does. I agree with some of the comments you're posting here. Turkey's the obvious one. They're the best team, but like there is no guarantee. So I'll also just say, like, I'm going to be rooting hard for Kosovo. Like, I might buy a Kosovo hat. Like, I might have my Kosovo gear on. Like, because if Kosovo comes out, now all of a sudden this group gets like real juicy, right? You're talking about, if you told me a World Cup group could be USA, Paraguay, Australia, and Kosovo, right? If that was like a possibility, I would be like, where do I sign up and how much do I have to pay? Like, it's like insane. But Turkey makes it a little tougher, but it doesn't make it impossible. Like, Turkey's the type of team, honestly, going into a World Cup, Turkey's the type of team that I typically think, well, it's going to be two big dogs and us and Turkey. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a normal World Cup group. It's like, you're going to get a top 10 team. You're going to get another really good team like a Japan. Then you'll get us. Then you'll get Turkey. And I know we've been pot two a bunch, but not always. And so sometimes you kind of think like, all right, how lucky can we get? And man, I don't want to like jinx it. We just got pretty lucky today. I don't want to jinx it, but I am going to be rooting pretty hard for, honestly, any of the other three. Romania, Slovakia, and Kosovo are a big step down from the level of Turkey.
Well, I want to point this out too, because we have this, I would say this is pretty rare. I don't think this normally happens. How often does your World Cup draw, Adam, the three teams possibly, you played them in the last 6 months? How often does that happen? I mean, you've already seen these.
Right.
Isn't that crazy?
I after this pot three, after pot three was pulled, I just tweeted out, I was like, this is a 10 of 10 so far. And somebody was like, I think you're underrating. They're like, I think you're underrating Paraguay. And I was like, no, I'm definitely not underrating them. It's just you couldn't pull. There's a lot of combinations of two teams after the first after the first three pots. I was like, it's like, this is a 10 of 10. Like, you can't combine teams in a way that's going to make me think many other combinations are going to be exciting. So like, friggin' exciting, man. Like, I think those two teams have an advantage of having played us as well, right? So they've got a little bit of tactical knowledge. How can they play us differently? How could they potentially make the game tougher? But there's going to be no unknowns, which is kind of nice, right?
Yeah.
We're going to be comfy, and it's like, I say comfy in the best way, right? It's not teams and players and level that we haven't experienced before.
Well, I just want to share this real quick. So let's just hypothetically say Turkey is going to be the team out of the group stage, because I think it's better to plan for the worst, and if one of these other teams qualify, then hell, that's good, right? Then it is what it is. So Turkey, we played them in June 7th. We lost 2-1. Now, if you guys remember, this was a very, very odd roster. It was our Gold Cup roster, essentially. There was no Pulisic. There was no Ballo. There was no Pepe. It was literally Patrick Ajimong up top. It was a very weird roster. And we scored, Jack McGlenn had the one curler in the first minute, beautiful goal. We ended up losing, but man, we did not look that bad. I feel like our A team will look a lot better. So I just wanted to share the score, and I'm going to go through the other teams we also have, because I think that that's positive. I mean, we played them pretty well, not even with their ideal 23, 26-man roster. Yeah,
and that you just talked about, like, as a U.S. fan, that is the unknown, is like, how does the whole team come together? We've seen the development in the last three windows. We've seen all the growth, right, with kind of like a mix of what I would call our A team mixed in with some other guys who you would expect to be, roster rotation guys, and even some fringe roster guys who, some of us might not even think might not make the roster. So yeah, how do we do if we can get, you're never going to get all of your best players on the field. Just unfortunately, knock on wood, is not how it works out. But like, I'm expecting we're going to get 80 to 90% of our best guys out there, right? And fill it in with, if there's a couple injuries here and there. How's that all going to come together, Will? Right? Like, it feels like it's going to come together well. It feels like Poch is moving this thing in the right direction. I am really not going to I'm not going to overreact to the spring friendly windows, to the early summer friendlies, pre-World Cup. Though we're going to have 4 insanely tough friendlies. I want to see performance, though, right? I want to see growth in terms of how we can move the ball against tough teams, how we can. And I'm really not going to judge, wins would be great, but I'm not going to judge the team based on wins. I want to see growth. And hopefully that's with closer to our A team, right? Against those teams. And we can start to see, like, wow. And we're going to go in prepared, man. We're going in playing a tougher level of competition before the World Cup than we're going to in the group stage, which I like, right? I always, when I was, coaching college hoops, like, I always wanted to scrimmage tough teams, so that I went into this team, it was into the season, our team was like, oh, this is easier than the scrimmages,
No, 100%. You always, that 100%. You want to challenge yourself more in a scrimmage or practice before the game, so that way it seems a lot easier for sure. And plus, the USMNT is playing better, man. Like, I don't want to say we've come full circle and like things are great now, because obviously there's going to be a little skepticism. But you and I haven't talked, had a little bit of life-changing stuff go on during the last camp. But I think things are trending the right way, and having a good group is definitely going to help things as well. Now, the next opponent was Australia. That was the first one. That was pot 2, and that was the first team we drew in our group. We beat them 2-1 in October, right? Not that long ago, like a little less than 2 months ago. And Haji Wright obviously was the man of the match. So, like, and we didn't have everyone we would want at that camp either. And that's kind of the theme, man. Every single camp we've watched this year, we have not had everyone we wanted. And you just said that too. It does make you wonder what it's going to look like when it all. And I expect 2026, when you're talking about these friendlies that we're going to have, I feel like that's when we're really going to see the whole A team collectively together, and things are going to change. But the good thing is, Adam, we proven we can beat these teams even when we don't have our A team.
Right.
Which is a big deal. And so,
Huge deal.
Australia, I mean, dude, when I saw that, I thought, okay, that is amazing. Like that right there, that set the tone, like you kind of said, of like you were saying 10 out of 10 for the draw and how you liked all the draws we had so far. That was the first one. Like, oh, hell yeah, dude. Like, this is good. That's a great first pull because we beat them. Now, Paraguay, let me pull them up real quick because we beat them too.
Yep.
But Paraguay is a team that does scare me a little bit. Now we did win that game, but they did give us some trouble. They are a scrappy, dangerous team. I would say of all the teams that we play, they might scare me the most. And who was the brought up this comment? Let me try to find this real quick. Miguel did. He says Paraguay beat Brazil and Argentina in the World Cup qualifiers to make it.
Paraguay's tough, man. Like, so here's the thing about the opponents, right? So I've been excited, right? Which you have to be, right? The draw can go a lot of different ways. Now, if we get realistic, right? Australia is grindy. They're going to grind the game. They're going to make it really, really tough. You can expect a block in that game. You can, it's not, if we don't score an early goal, that game the pressure's going to build in that game, right? Because Australia is not going to and Paraguay's the same way. Both those teams are going to play disciplined and really tough. They're both going to make it, right? As a U.S. fan, we call it CONCACAF, but it's going to be chippy. It's going to be, if I'm not mistaken, the Paraguay friendly was chippy, right? Like that was a chippy friendly. So, I think, is that the game that Freeman got into it at the end, right? It is, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So it's that's a friendly. What's
and
a World
Paraguay
Cup
got a red too, also.
What's a World Cup game going to be like against those guys?
No.
So I don't, same thing, right? Like being realistic, we're going to have to play really freaking tough. More than well, we're going to have to play tough against those two teams. Like they're going to be hard-nosed, bring the game to you type teams in terms of just their physicality, chippiness, a little bit of the BS, side BS, right? And we're going to have guys on the field who are ready for that. So, no, not for sure wins, and certainly neither is Turkey. But just being realistic, if we continue to grow the way that Poch has grown the team over the last 4 or 5 months, and we continue to see the same level of growth up until next summer, right, with the upcoming windows that we have, this is a group you should get out of. The expectation 1,000% is you are getting out of this group at home, Will. You have to get out of this group. When you compare it to the past U.S. teams, right, and the groups they've gotten out of, this is not a group that you're 50-50. No, you get out of this group. That's your expectation. You go play hard, you go play tough, and you go get it done.
This is the easiest group we've had since I've been watching the USMNT.
1,000%. I've really been watching since 2002 as a 41-year-old, 42. God damn, I'm old. 42-year-old now. And I've been watching closely since 2002, right? I watched 94 and 98, but I was a middle schooler, I wasn't tracking the groups. And so since I've been watching, without a doubt, this is the best I've felt about the group that we have. No doubt.
Yeah, no, I think we should finish first place in this group. I think we should come out with the most points in this group. Now, Turkey might be a little difficult if that is the team we play. They will probably be the ones battling for that top spot. I think Australia is the worst team in this group. If it's Turkey is the fourth team, I think they're the worst team. I think Paraguay is probably third. No disrespect to Paraguay, but I think Paraguay's third, maybe, and I think we're competing for Turkey for the top 2 spots. Now, I didn't see this. Do you know who we play if we, the group will play in the next round?
It's
which group?
Really complex with the third place thing. I'll take a look at it and throw it in the comments if anybody has any idea. I just haven't gotten there yet because the show just ended. But let's see, knockout rounds, World Cup 2026. I know it's more complex than the past. It used to just be A-B, right? One would play 2 and other one would play 2, right? It was so easy to track. But when I looked at it, I've looked at it in the last month, and it was it looked more complex. Looking at Wiki right now. Let's check it out here.
And also, too, we have to mention there's 48 teams where historically there's been 32. So we've added 16 new teams. And that changes things up a little bit as well. I would like to know what group we have to play next. I know it's going to be tough. It's going to be a lot harder than
we're D, right? So if you
yes.
go to Wikipedia, you could probably find it and share it. They've got it under the knockout stage section of the 2026. You could Google 2026 FIFA World Cup knockout stage, and it'll probably bring you there. There's a whole article on it itself on Wiki. But it looks like the winner. So let's just say we win for a second. If we're the winner of Group D, then this is the big advantage of winning, right? You play a third place team from B, E, F, I, or J. There is no like for sure yet, right? This is where it got complex in terms of figuring out who you're going to play. But that's a massive advantage. Right now, once again, the way it goes, sometimes a good team is third place and you kind of can get unlucky in that way, right? We've seen that in the past where you think winning your group's an advantage and then all of a sudden the better team is second in the other group, right? But advantageously and just percentage-wise, you want to be playing the third place team from one of those groups, right? That's most likely going to equal an easier game, right? And then you'd go on, let's just say things go swimmingly, right? We win Group D, right? We win that group, we win that game against the third place team. Winner of Group G is who the winner of Group D would play if they can kind of win through. So what's Group G? I've got it right here. Group G is Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand. So also not just say we can win the group and you could beat the third place team. There's a lot tougher pot one teams that you could, just kind of, once again, we're assuming things that is not a safe thing to do in World Cups, but just assuming like Belgium's the team that gets through, or even Egypt, right? Egypt can win that group and get through and then win their first knockout game. You can, once again, nothing's easy. This ain't easy. We're not even favored in that game. Like, I don't think, but you can come up with far worse second round knockout opponents than Belgium and Egypt, if you can win. Now,
I got PTSD though about that because 2014,
1000%, dude. You're not in, but Belgium is not Belgium, right?
No, it's not the same as it was then. No. Right, and also too, you have to beat teams like this if you want to go anywhere. Like that's just how it is, right?
Correct. Like once again, we're not going to be favored against Belgium or Egypt. Like we're not,
yeah.
But just, can you scroll up? Scroll down. Spain. Okay. Keep going. France. Keep going. Like just the
Argentina.
Yeah. So all of the other matchups of teams that you would have to play in the second round of the knockout, if you're thinking things will go to chalk, right? Which I know they don't, way tougher than Belgium and Egypt, right? So I don't know, like that, but we have to win the group and then we have to win against the third place team, right? That's all really, really challenging and none of that's assumed. And then you'd have to get to, a game like Belgium, Egypt, and you'd have to find a way to win that game. And now you're in the quarters, right? And everybody remember there's one extra knockout round now that we're a 48 team World Cup. So it's a round of 32, then it's a round of 16, then it's a quarters. So in the past, you just had to win one knockout to get to the quarters. You got to win two now to get to the quarters. And now I'm not even going to go down that road, right? Because now you can be playing anyone. What I did want to kind of explore that I think is interesting, Will, is what if we're second in our group, right? So second place in Group D, if we just kind of we're looking for runner-up in Group D. Gosh,
place runner-up in Group G.
It's the runner-up of Group G as well. So which is the same group I just looked at, right? Which is now Belgium,
Egypt. Yeah.
So to make it really simple, winning the group means you're delaying one round when you'd have to play Belgium and Egypt, right? Like
that's not bad, dude.
And so you have to, now that we're sitting here, you have to go win the group. If you want to make a run, it just makes life drastically easier. You are going to have to beat Belgium's and Egypt's, and you're even going to have to beat a bigger dog if you want to make a semi, right? If your thing is like, hey, we can make a crazy run. You can look at Russia, all these teams have made crazy home runs through the years, right? I think Korea, right, back in 2002.
Yeah, 2002. Yeah.
Dream is like, hey, winning the World Cup, guys. It's such a far-fetched dream in my brain. I can't even get there. My dream as a fan is a semifinal. Like I want to watch a semifinal in my lifetime with the USMNT in it, right? Do I think it's going to happen, Will? Logically, if I had to bet money, I don't know. But that's the dream. That's my dream. So let me dream here, guys, right? Don't insult me. Let me dream for a second. To do that, you're going to have to beat someone.
Yeah.
The goal of winning the group in this World Cup is have to beat as few of them as possible, right? Like, because now all of a sudden, if you're runner up, now you got to go beat Belgium or Egypt in the first round, and then just kind of just looking at it. Well, I'll just totally explore. Winner of Group J is on the other side of you. That's who you'd have to play in
Argentina.
and that is Argentina. Okay. Yeah. So your World Cup's done. Like, you're not like, the chances you get past Egypt and Argentina to just make the quarterfinal. Like that's improbable, honestly. Right? Can we both agree? Improbable.
It probably is, but that's the thing. It's like, I wouldn't bet on it. Obviously, hell no, I would never bet on it. But we are hosting it, man. Things can happen.
But we're talking about odds and percentages,
logically, yes,
and giving yourself the best chance. And giving yourself the best chance is taking care of business in this group that you probably are. I bet Vegas will have us favored to win the group, right? Like, you're going to be favored to win this group. So you got to go get it done. So you give yourself an easier path. And then just to keep going. Okay. So we're runner up in the group. We got to go play Egypt. Let's just assume we got to go play Egypt. Then we got to go play Argentina. Right. And now I said the dream is a semi, Will, right? I didn't come on here to talk to you about how maybe we can make the quarters. Like obviously that would be great. I'd take it. But like, I just want to dream for a second. So stay with me, audience. Like, we beat Egypt. Oh my God, we pull the upset of all upsets. We beat Argentina. And now waiting, if the dream is really a semi, now waiting is the winner of Group B, which Italy probably, if they come, Switzerland, they're not going to win that. So it's K. So K is going to be the most likely outcome. And now you're talking about Portugal. So now, like, we're talking about all this. We're talking about all this, and none of it's going to matter because freaking, Uzbekistan is going to like get out of the group. Like, I don't know. That's why the World Cup's so great.
Ronaldo. I definitely look. This is favorable for us. I'm not going to put any expectations on where we're going. It's too early. We got 6 months to do that, right? Because we're going to dig through this more and more and kind of see what happens. And I'm sure there'll be things that unexpectedly happen. Not knock on wood, no injuries or anything, but we just don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, this is very favorable, and I feel pretty good about our odds. Now, I did want to ask you real quick, just because of our friends north of the border and south of the border. I just want to see what you kind of thought about their groups compared to ours. We'll start with Mexico first. They've got South Africa, Korea, and I'll have to look up and see who the other play-in is. I don't think theirs is the Italy group, is it?
Who's that?
The Group A with Mexico. I don't think theirs is the play-in with Italy, is it? They're
I can look it up. They're playoff D, which let's go backward here. I got it here. Playoff D is Denmark, North Macedonia, Czechia, and Republic of Ireland and Ireland. So
it's probably gonna be Denmark.
Denmark's the favorite there. Yep.
Yeah. So I would say Denmark. So Mexico, South Africa, Korea, and Denmark. I mean, Korea's good, dude.
Tough.
They're tough.
Tougher group than ours, Will. Like, I just 100%. Honestly, I think Denmark and Turkey are relatively equal in my brain, right? I'm sure somebody out there probably has a strong argument on it. I don't. Like, they're a similar level of talent. I think Korea's tough. Didn't Mexico? Did they tie Korea or just lose to Korea? They just played them.
They lost to Korea when we played them. I think they also played them. I think they lost.
Well, yeah, I'll look that up. But tougher group. I mean, those are tough games. And even South Africa's like, now they're not.
That's a draw 2-2.
That's a gritty fourth game. So Mexico's got a tough. Yeah, they got a tough road as well. There is no. They're not walking out of that group either.
By the way, when Korea did play them, they drew. Son Heung-min did not play in that game. So they had backups play in that game, and they still drew.
You never know with friendlies, right? It's always tough to like be predictive with the results off friendlies. You almost can't.
No, 100%. But I'll say, and I think you agree with this, South Korea is definitely a way harder opponent than Australia. Like, not even close, right?
Well, let's just go team for team, right? It's like U.S. Mexico is not equal, but like we're there are groups.
Yeah.
So you go, okay, next best team in our group, probably Paraguay or maybe Turkey if they get out. That's pretty close in my mind. Korea is better than both of them, right? So whoever you're going to put two in ours, Korea is better. The third best team would be, Denmark, let's say. And now it's Denmark versus whoever, Turkey or Paraguay, whoever you want to put as three now. And now it's like, maybe somewhat equal there. That's more of a like for like. And then the third teams are like for like. So it really is just like Korea is just a tougher opponent. that they have to face, right? More likely that you come out with 0 points in that game.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Like they have, I guess the best way to say it too is like they have less room for error. Like if they lose to Korea, they can't afford to lose another game, which they probably will lose to Korea.
The advantage they have is I assume they're playing all 3 games at Estadio Azteca,
I think so.
Azteca, and that place is just tough to play. Like it just is. It's such a different environment. The elevation, like Mexico has such a built-in home field, Will, in a way that is just like so unique. You know, it's almost like a baseball team that has a short porch in left field and they have all power hitting righties. You know, it's like their team over the years is just built to play there in a way that you cannot go in there and play play with them or play at your same level, right? I'm not saying they can't lose there. Of course they can, but yeah, live and life. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting though, man. What about Canada's group? You check that one out?
Yeah, so Canada has Qatar, Switzerland.
That's Italy.
Yeah, and that's Italy. Yeah, this group's hard as hell, bro. Switzerland is good. They waxed our ass when we played them. They absolutely waxed us. And then Italy, like you said, who the hell would want to play them? Like
they get 2 European teams, right? Disaster. Yeah. You never want to see 2 European teams in your group. And obviously, to your point, Italy's Italy, man. Like, no matter how much they're struggling, if they can get out of that playoff, they are still Italy. They still have a ton of talent. They're still going to be stout defensively, right? Like, they're not the Italy of old, right? They're not 06 Italy. They're not even 2010, 2014 Italy, but like, they still are very good, right? And then Switzerland, obviously, is just we saw that ourselves firsthand. They're always just like tough, strong,
scrappy.
Smart. Yeah, like strong, disciplined tactically. Like to compete the way they do in Europe with their talent, you have to be really disciplined and really, tactically really strong, right? And they have good talent, right? I mean, they have good players too. So tough.
That's the hardest group by far, I think, of all three of all the CONCACAF groups.
Canada will not come out of that group. I'll call it right now. I do not think Canada. Now they could be third, so they could come out of the group, right? Yeah. It just might be in third place. I don't know all the rules behind that. I gotta research it more. I haven't gone deep, but I assume it's like total points for third place teams. But that could be tough if you're Canada. If you lose both of those games, right, and you're like you have to now beat Qatar to have a chance as a third place team. So who knows? Everybody can come out because it's 3 teams potentially coming out. So
I have a hot take. I think Mexico's going to get out of their group. I think it's going to be really tough, but I think they're going to get out of the group with South Korea. And I think Canada is going to finish in, dude, I think they could finish in 4th place. And people are going to say I'm hating on our friends, up north, but who the hell knows, dude? I mean, Qatar might give them a hell of a game, and then Italy might beat them down. And I don't think they're going to beat Switzerland. I don't think there's any way they beat Switzerland. Switzerland might
beating Switzerland.
Of all 12 teams in the CONCACAF groups, I think Switzerland is probably the best team.
Right.
They're probably the best team, and they beat us. What was the score? Was it 4-1, 5-1?
Oh, a total. Yeah. I don't. I do have it actually right here.
I think that was the worst loss that Poch has had.
Yeah, and I'll just say this briefly while I'll look up that result. But it was let's see, where is that game? 4-0. Yeah, 4-0. Like, totally uncompetitive. But I'll say this. So you have, just thinking about how it's going to work, you're going to have 12 groups, right? So you're going to have 24 teams come out as first and second place teams. Then you're going to have 8 of the 12 third place teams go through. So odds are, right, just 2/3 chance that you go out as a third place team, right? You have to, probably win a game is my assumption. You got to get probably 3 points get you through is how I'm kind of thinking about it. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I was looking for a group of death. I don't know if you did at all. Did anything kind of stick out as like group of death material to you? It's maybe it's because there's 12 groups now and it's spread out more, but it really I couldn't find, like, that was the potential group of death, L. Like, that was the one I saw, and it's not even, obviously, because there's more teams, you're not going to have as condensed of a group of death, but England, Croatia, and Ghana felt kind of group of death-y to me in terms of just, those are, Ghana's not what Ghana used to be either, I don't think, right now, but like, England and Croatia, just period. I mean, those teams played in a semifinal of a World Cup 8 years ago. And obviously, both of those teams have made deep runs in the Euros and World Cups over the last 5-6 years. So, that was Brazil, Morocco, also pretty tough. But
That's pretty
Haiti,
tough.
but Haiti, Scotland, Scotland's scrappy. Just the bottom. They didn't have a third team that was kind of like Ghana to me.
I think this is one to watch. I think Ivory Coast, Ecuador. Now Morocco got.
Oh yeah, Ecuador, Germany, and Ivory Coast. That's a good one. Yeah, I mean Ecuador's tough. If people don't know Ecuador, they've been really
They're
tough.
really
they
good.
Were young at the last World Cup, and obviously have had some good results. So yeah, I like that one as well. It's a good one.
Yeah, but like to your point though, when you do this, it does kind of like bounce it out where there really is maybe 1.5 good teams, and then it's kind of like. Can you check real quick who the European playoff B is? Because Japan's really good. Netherlands is very good.
European playoff B is Ukraine, Sweden, Poland, Albania. So actually, that's like the deepest playoff in my eyes. Like I think that Sweden and Poland, I don't think either. Sweden's good. Yeah, maybe that is just the best playoff. It's Sweden and Poland, and then Ukraine as well. There's not as many minnows in that one though. Some of the other playoffs had a couple minnows.
So if you look at that group, Japan, Netherlands, one of those teams, that's a pretty good group too. That's a pretty solid. That just makes me think we got lucky, man. Like some of these,
we did get lucky.
Either the group is really bad and there's like 1.5 good teams, or it's almost 3 deep.
Well, the question is could you take us and put us in any? Just go to the top of the list, right, all the way back to Mexico. Like, do you want to replace pot 1 here? No. Right, we already said that, right? We think ours is easier.
No.
Do we want to replace pot 1 there? No.
Do
we want to replace pot 1 here against Morocco?
No.
Like that's tougher. That's us. Do we want to replace Germany against Ivory Coast and Ecuador? No. Do we want to replace Netherlands and play Japan, Europe playoff, and Tunisia? No, definitely not. All right, so this is how big of a win it is, right? Do we want to replace Belgium and have to play?
Maybe this one, maybe.
That one's not as bad. You have Egypt. Yeah. Egypt's good though. Egypt's better. In my opinion. Egypt's better than all the other teams in our group, but Iran and New Zealand not as bad. So it's Spain is playing. That one's actually. Oh no, Uruguay at the bottom. I didn't see that.
Yeah, that one's. I
don't think I'd switch there.
This one,
I wouldn't switch there. Senegal and Norway, no way. And I can't remember the teams in those other playoffs too. There's some decent teams in some of those playoffs.
Yeah, some of it's kind of hard to keep, like
I'll try and look that up. This one's Argentina and it's Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. That's tough. Doable.
That one's a little. I mean, Algeria is pretty good historically, especially at the World Cup, and Austria is pretty.
Austria's good. Oh yeah, Austria's tough. I'm definitely not trading to that one. I'm just letting you know. I'm just like that one's a little more favorable than
this one. I'd have to see. I don't think there is a single group I would trade with. I think we have the easiest group of every team.
I wouldn't trade with any of those pot 1 teams. No way. So yeah. So I mean, in that way, right? We just kind of did it live in person.
Yeah.
We kind of got the easiest group, if not the easiest group for the pot ones. We've got top 2, top 3, like no doubt. They rigged it. Yeah. That's why they gave Trump the made up peace award.
Hell yeah.
Not into politics, but they made up a peace award, which I just find hilarious. Like, I don't know, just so weird. Can you imagine if the NBA made up a peace award and gave it to anyone? I don't care who, LeBron, anyone. They have the NBA peace award. It's like, come on, man.
Real quick, because I want to ask you. 2 questions, and then I want to talk real briefly about just the lead up, because we got to talk about that before we end this, about the shit show it was. Yep. Who do you? Okay, first of all, USMNT. This is an early prediction. I'm not going to hold you to this. This is just December 5th, 2025, 6 months ahead or before the World Cup. Where do you think we're going to finish? What's your gut telling you right now?
I've got to be optimistic. I'm not here. I didn't come in here to tell you to be realistic, right? I don't know. Actually, did you see? And this will lead back to your question. Did you see the U.S. soccer commercial before it all?
I don't think I caught that. No.
It was awesome. It was like a historical montage, right, of USA soccer through the years, blended in with some recent stuff like Timmy Weah walking on the field, Pulisic doing the man in the mirror. And behind it, I didn't even catch who was voicing it, to be honest, because I didn't watch it from the beginning. I kind of picked it up a few seconds in. But it was we're here to – I'm probably going to get this wrong, but it was we're here to dream, right? We're not here for reality. And the whole theme was we're going to dream big. We're going to play big, right? We're not going to go reality big. And like, I loved that. It just got me so jacked up. I got to go find it on YouTube and really watch it. I was kind of like,
send that to me if you find it.
It was awesome. Like, good job. Like, whoever the advertising agency is that put that together for US Soccer, like, I had chills, Will. Like, I don't know if anybody else caught it. Like, I was like, ooh, like, I don't usually get chills for that kind of stuff, but I was like, oh. And then they went to an hour and a half of Kevin Hart vamping and Infantino doing camp sing-along chants with the crowd. Freaking crazy. I do want to chat about that with you before we get out of here.
Yeah.
But I want to get back to your question now. The whole theme was like dream big, right? Like, we're not here like for reality, right? Yeah, we get reality is, right? Your US Soccer, you know, a nice World Cup is probably making it out of the group and, you know, winning a game. You know, and all that is probably the average normal expectation for the US in a World Cup, a good World Cup for the US. I think we're going to win the group, and I think we're going to win that third place game, and I think we're going to upset somebody. I think we upset one team, and that still only gets us to the quarterfinals, and I think we'll lose in the quarterfinals. So that's my a little bit of optimism, right? That we're going to win 2 knockout games, which we've only done one time in the modern history, right? And that does not get us to a quarterfinal, unfortunately, right? That gets us to a semi.
Was Argentina the team we would have played in the quarterfinals, or was that a team we would have played?
Sorry, we've only won one game in modern history. Sorry, we beat Mexico in 2002. That was the only time we've won a knockout game in modern history. My bad, just one game. So we've never won 2 games. My bad.
but the team that we would hypothetically play, you said that you expect us to maybe do one upset. Would it be Would Argentina be the team we would likely lose
if
to?
we win the group, if you remember, if we win the group, we get to go play Egypt or Belgium.
Right? Belgium, yes. And then if we win
there was a third team in there too that honestly is probably as strong as Egypt. I don't think I was looking at it before. Who's that third team? Let me look at it real quick. Belgium, Egypt. Oh no, Belgium, Egypt, Iran. It'll be Belgium or Egypt.
Yeah.
So
that's the round of 32. That would be who we play then, right? And so if we
no, round of 32 will be against third place teams.
Okay.
So I think we're gonna win the group. I think we get to go play third place teams and we beat one of them. Then I think we'd have to play like an Egypt. It seems like an Egypt, a Belgium. To be honest, you could actually, if I go back and look it up, we could end up playing a runner-up. I kind of looked at the winners, but like your runner-up actually could be, oh boy.
So you're saying, lead this straight. So you're saying when we win our group, or if we finish second our group, then we'll have to play another.
Let's go win our group, because that's my prediction. If we win our group, right, the winner of Group D gets to go play third place teams. I think
which doesn't count, right? That's not part of the round. That does not count as the round of 32, correct?
That is the round of 32.
Okay,
now.
That's why I wanted clarity on.
Yes, that's the round of 32. I think we win the round of 32 game against third place teams.
Okay.
Then we'd play the winner of Group G. They get to play third place teams too. So I'm just going to make a safe assumption that the toughest opponent we would play would be the winner
Belgium,
of Group G.
Which would be okay. That was the game. So what you're saying is that your prediction is we're going to knock off a big team, which would most likely be Belgium in that round of 16.
Yep.
And then we're going to play in the quarterfinals, which will probably be against Argentina. That's what
No. That would be if we were second. We didn't go through who would play in the quarters. I'll give you some options though, right? Here's who's kind of on the other side of us. If we get out of our little, mini bracket, right, which would be us and Egypt, let's say, in the round of 16. Now we're going to the quarters. It's winner of Group H, which let's just go best teams, Spain.
Yeah.
And then you have runners up from K. So runner up from K, let's just
Portugal or Colombia.
Let's just say it's Colombia. Runner up of Group L. So these would be like the 4 teams I'm saying that would be like options that we would play. That would be like a Croatia or England, runner up in Group L. This gets tougher by the minute. And a runner up in Group J, which would be that's Argentina's group. So like an Austria. So you've got, like, if we make it as far as I said, we're playing against at worst Spain, right? And at best Austria or something like that, right? I'd imagine it's going to be a big boy, a Spain, a Croatia, and England. Like, those are the teams that potentially are going to be on the other side that we would have to play in the round of 16. Or sorry, the quarterfinals.
So we wouldn't see Argentina then hypothetically till the semifinals if we
win, we would. No, if we win, we wouldn't see them till the final. It's like it's winner of Group E. So on that side, right, we get ourselves on the side with, like, presumably, a Germany, a France, just basic, like nobody big. Netherlands. Let's see who else. Yeah, that's it. So that's who would kind of be like the expected favorites to come out into the semis. Would be that. Like if you had to draw it out based on what I just saw, the favorite for the semifinal is probably Spain, France, right? Something like that on the side that we would be on if we win.
So your prediction is we're going to make it to the quarterfinals and likely lose.
I think we'll make to the quarterfinals. I think we lose to Spain. Let's be really specific. Let's put it on record. We're going to make the quarterfinals. We're going to lose to Spain in PKs in the quarterfinals. Oh, that's going to be
that'd be exciting, though.
It's going to be a heartbreaker. Yeah, I'm just putting it out there. We're going to play a tough game against Spain. We're going to get to PKs. We're going to lose in PKs. But, man, if we get to Spain against Spain in the quarterfinals to PKs, it'll be the best result in U.S. history by far. I mean,
especially because how many more games you to win.
For all the old school historians, I'm not counting the third place in 1930 or whatever. Like, throw that out. Like, plumbers and firemen playing soccer around the world. Yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
Okay, so this is my second question about this before we get into the shit show before the thing even started. Who's your favorite to win it all?
Yeah, it's a good question. That's always tough. I honestly believe that, listen, France has been to the final 2 straight times, right? They won one and they lost maybe the best final of my lifetime, right? I mean, that was the most exciting final I've ever seen. I think France is my favorite to win it all, just because of the talent level everybody knows. To be honest, the talent level amongst those top 4 or 5 teams, it's like the same. It's just like at that point, who do you like, right? And I love the experience of that team. Mbappe is like now in the prime age for a player, right? Like to be the guy. And then I love the talent around him. So I think they're probably my favorite. But I don't know. I think I love watching Spain. Spain might be my favorite team to watch, and Yamal might be my favorite player to watch right now.
That's my team. That's what I think is going on, because Lamine Yamal is the best player on the planet. He's 18 years old.
Correct.
They just won the Euros.
They did. Correct. And listen, like that's why I can't argue. No way. Like no way. Yeah, like obviously, yes. But and that's why I also think reality. I'll go back to reality. We have to play them in a quarterfinal. Like,
oh yeah.
I don't know, man. Like
if it goes to penalties in a quarterfinal with Spain, we already won.
I'm dreaming big with going to extra time and penalties against Spain. But like that's like, to me, that's like almost as laughable as saying we're going to win a World Cup. Spain is so good. They're like absurdly good. So, yeah, no problem with that. Spain's yours. I'll stick with France, though. I'll say that they're going to go to 3 straight finals, winning 2 out of 3. It's going to be one of the best runs in World Cup history.
So I have Spain winning it, but my surprise prediction, and it's not even that crazy surprise, it just kind of feels like one of those years where something crazy would happen. I just got this like feeling that Portugal is going to shock everyone and win it all. I don't know. They've been pretty good lately. And
so much talent there too. Yeah.
Portugal won Nations League versus Spain. I don't know. I just feel like it would be so funny, and Ronaldo wouldn't even be the best player on his team. And seeing him take the credit for winning the World Cup, which would be funny to win it when he's not in his prime anymore. That would be funny as hell. So that I think Spain. Keep an eye on Portugal is kind of another team. I'm not saying I'm rooting for them. I'm just saying I just got this feeling that it could happen. Okay, I got to go here in like the next 5 to 10 minutes, but real quick, I want to talk about the lead up to this, because a lot of people are pissed off.
Sure.
I'm gonna let you have the floor on this. What the hell was that, dude?
I'll just say this, and I apologize to everyone. This only happens once every 4 years. It gets me every time. Will, I was in the midst of watching that first hour, and I was like, I totally forgot about this. I'm not gonna forget 4 years from now. Like, I'm not gonna forget that they do like a random show for like, I don't know. It's not even like an award show. It's so bad. Like, it's almost like it's unplanned. It's almost like nobody did. They're like, hey, Kevin Hart and Heidi Klum, just go out and talk. And then Infantino's like, I'll come out and I'll do some stuff. And then like, I'll bring another singer on. And then, well, what do you guys want to do after that? You got the Peace Award. So we'll do that. Like, it's literally like doesn't even felt organized. At the end, this is how bad it is. Like, get a host, get somebody who talks for a living to like coordinate your stars, and you're like, nobody knew how to talk. It was crazy. Even during the draw, like those two people were not like, I don't know. They just didn't seem like, You know how you have the host on any studio show? You know, soccer too. You have a host, and the host's job is like, yeah, they don't know as much about soccer, but they're good at talking and they know how to like
Set
read
it
the
up.
room and set everyone up.
Yeah.
Right. There was none of that. It just was like a disastrous mess. It was so boring. I mean, really, like I was like, okay, I'll watch this. It was terribly boring. Everything went like if I had to critique them and they brought me in as like a consultant, I'd be like, guys, this is like 45 minutes too long. Like you did not need, if you want to do a little bit cool. And then my last piece is this, right? We figured this out with the Oscars. We figured it out with the Grammys. We figured it out with every award shows. Figured this out. Okay, we have X amount of, how long do you think it took him to draw the teams? Probably
an
15
hour,
minutes?
I think. Well, oh no, yeah, probably it was pretty
20
quick. Yeah, probably, yeah, 20 minutes actually. Yeah,
because no
Yeah.
commercials either. Like they just went, which
Yeah.
I was surprised about.
yeah.
But like to me, why not go? We are here for the World Cup draw. You know, boom. Here's how it's going to work. Here's what we're doing. If you want to do the ceremonial president thing, the presidents are coming out. Boom. They pull A. We're going right into pot one teams. Boom, 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 boom. We're going to send it to the studio, break it down. Hey, this team, love this team. Bop, bop, bop. All right, now we have a performance. Cool. Now we'll come back. This is what the Oscars does. Now you have more substance. Now pot two teams. Boom, 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 boom. Go break it down for 10 minutes. Oh, it looks like US has to play this team. Canada's playing these guys. Now the Peace Award, if you're going to make up your own award to give out, whatever you want to do. But to me, it's like, why not do that? Because then you actually are going to draw me in. And now I don't mind all your other stuff as much, right? Because you're creating highs and lows throughout the show, right? As it goes, like, give me something, take me down. Give me something, take me down. Versus like, can you imagine if the Academy Awards did all of the fluff for like an hour and a half? And then they were like, now let's announce every award. Like best actor, best actress, movie of the year. Like, it's like, whoa, you're like, they're like fire hosing us at the end.
Yes.
We didn't even have time to digest, you know? Like, it would have been nice to, digest for a minute. If you want to watch whoever sing, cool, or the junkies, you know, we're sitting here with our paper like, oh man,
Taking
Mexico,
notes.
South Africa, let's look at that. Oh, what's the knockout here in Mexico? Like, if they gave me time, I would have been in the knockouts looking like, ooh, who will Mexico have to play if they win the group? Oh, Mexico, England, right? Like, I don't know, just the way it's done is terrible. It was so bad.
No, I agree, and it was awkward as hell. Very awkward, no chemistry, and you know, a lot of people were saying that there wasn't enough soccer people up there as well. Like they're
100%. Yeah.
And you know, I understand why they had the drawings the way they did because they wanted to get American athletes involved with you know, pulling the names and stuff. But it just felt like they did this last minute rush. And you know, Lauryn Hill, I don't know if anyone likes her music, but it doesn't really matter. She like said, you know, if you're enjoying yourself, raise your hands, and like nobody raised their hands in the stands, man. It was just so bad, dude. It was just so bad. And what would you say? It lasted like 2 hours before we actually got to the names. 2 hours of that shit. 2 hours.
It was, right? I mean, started at 12 and the draw started at 2, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, why? I gotta remember that for next time, and I gotta just like set my expectation. It's literally gotten me 3 cycles in a row. And I just wasn't as active. I wasn't quite as active on Twitter in 2022. Or I remember tweeting about it in 2022, 2018 and before. I really wasn't on Twitter. I wasn't like out there to anybody. I remember sitting in my home being like, what is this crap? Like, and they do it. I think I saw somebody like, I feel like it's not as exacerbated, but I feel like the Champions League draw has a little bit of it as well, where I'm like,
Yeah.
You just give me the teams. Like I don't need all of this.
Well, you lose interest too, right? I mean, you know, I know that they're building it up and they want their sponsors to get as much time as they possibly can, but dude, you just really lose people. And everybody was complaining. I was complaining. We were texting about how boring and terrible and awkward it was. And it just kind of like, we're still excited. Don't get me wrong, because we get these teams and you and I are ready to go. But like, it's still just the process of getting there was excruciating.
So unnecessary. Like, I don't know. Like, it literally felt like they threw it together in 2 days. Like,
literally 2 days.
Somebody call Shaq and see if he'll come. Like, it literally was like totally unplanned. I don't know. Like Aaron Judge, like Gretzky, Curacao. God,
dude,
come on, man. Like, come on.
Oh my dude, the jokes were so bad. Did you see what Shaq said what his soccer name is?
What did he say?
He said his name was David Blackman. I was like, oh my God, dude.
See that now.
Oh my
I must have missed
God.
that.
Yeah, and then the videos with Rio Ferdinand, like just the pre-recorded stuff was so
Right.
corny. It was
Oh
terrible.
yeah,
It was so bad.
stupid. Hey, I'll say this before we head out.
Yeah.
And I think I saw somebody in the comments. My brain was going to the same place, right? Which is like, if we want to dream big, 2009, we played the Confederations Cup. We didn't even play very well in it for a couple games. Yeah, like we beat Spain. I mean, like it happened. Like that happened. That Spain team did not lose games from 08 to 2012. I mean, they really didn't. They won 2 Euros. They won a World Cup. And we're like one of the only blemishes on that resume over that couple years. So like miracles happen, right? And, it's been a long time since the U.S. national teams have been involved in anything truly miraculous, right? I go back to 1980, right? And the ice hockey team, like that's your last really, truly miraculous moment. So like, that's why we watch. That's why we, talk about this stuff. That's why we are all on Twitter together, arguing and yelling at each other and having fun, debating soccer, because we're waiting for that moment where our favorite team gives us magic. And it's like it's why people were Red Sox fans for 80 years, right? And finally got 2004, which as a Yankee fan really hurts me, but like that's magic, right? That is the stuff you live for. It came back from 03 down to win a World Series after 86 years. Like we're watching for magic. And like, so yeah, like, do I think we're going to win the World Cup? No, I don't. But like, God, I'm rooting for some magic and I'm hoping for some magic. And I do think our percentages to make something magical happen got way higher today with this draw. Now we got to go to the field.
I agree completely. Before I let you give me your final thoughts and tell everybody where you can follow your accounts, guys, make sure you give us a like down below. Me and Adam just went almost an hour breaking down the group stages, looking at other possibilities of who was going to play where and where we would play if we have our group, and looking at all the other groups. Make sure you guys give us a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This is the beginning of a lot of World Cup content. I'm sure Adam's going to be on several times between now and June to break down some more stuff. So make sure you guys hit that little bell notification so you never miss any of our videos. And also, real quick, we got MLS Cup tomorrow. That kind of snuck in there. Not as big of a deal as this, but just had to throw that in there.
We're excited for that, man.
Yeah, it's going to be a big game. I'm very excited to see what happens and see who wins.
Messi Mueller?
Yep.
I mean, if you told me Messi and Mueller were going to play in a United States club final of any sort in my lifetime, I would have told you were crazy. So, no, it's exciting. I'm excited to watch that one.
Yeah, it's going to be. I really don't know what's going to happen. I think it's just going to be an instant classic. It's going to be a really good match, two really good teams. I think people, if you love soccer, you'll really enjoy this game. You will really enjoy this game. Also, too, Rio Ferdinand saying, "Hey, we're not going to say soccer anymore. It's going to be football." Then Alexi tweeted, says, "We call it soccer." I thought that's pretty funny.
Like that. Yeah. Listen, that's what we call it, man. Get over it. Like,
it is what it is. Yeah. Adam, final thoughts. Where can the people follow you at? Also appreciate you for hopping on here with me.
My final thoughts are, man, let's go do it. And doing it starts with March, Poch, hopefully getting a higher percentage of the first group in and, continuing to grow it. But what I've been really impressed with Poch on, right? I know I'm going toward left field here, is he's done the best version of what we thought could be possible like 6 months ago when things were bleak, which is like he seems to have done a year-long job of getting people all in. And that is all done behind the scenes. There is no way as a fan to know what's going on, right? And I think while there was chaos in the front, right? That's what we saw for the first however many months of his tenure, is we saw chaos in the front. Behind the scenes, there obviously was some good stuff going on that was like laying a foundation, laying a culture, laying expectations, and, probably like some mental gymnastics to get your best players to start to like figure out, hey, you got to want to come in here and you got to want to work when you come in here. And so I'm really optimistic about what we see. Like what we see is pointing to some good things actually going on behind the scenes, where when we talked late summer, it was like, God, what we're seeing is pointing to some bad things going on behind the scenes. Really, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So I'm excited for the growth. I'm excited for the opponents we get to play. And I really think we get to lay a foundation next spring and early summer to actually set ourselves up for the biggest moment in U.S. soccer history. It's a home World Cup, and it's the potential to go do some magical things. So my excitement, I think you said it before, my excitement is at an all-time high, right? I mean, I don't remember the last time I felt this excited about the program. Not like a game, right? Like I was excited to get out of the World Cup group, but just when have I felt the best about the program over the last decade? Like right now.
Yeah, I'd say that this is the most excited I've been for World Cup since, and I'm excited for every World Cup, but for the USMNT, I was really excited for the 2014 team, even though the group of death was tough. Like the team was just playing really well collectively, and they had a lot of dogs on that team. But I feel really good about this team and where things are. And we talked about this a lot when Poch was hired. He was going to have to break it down and build it back up. And I think he did a good job of making players feel that their spots are not earned or guaranteed; they're earned. And that's a good thing, man. That's when you're going to get the people here who really care about the badge. Adam, before I let you go, where can the people follow you at?
Yeah, Stan USMNT, man. I'm the guy that some people think my name's Stan. It's not, but at Stan USMNT on Twitter. And that's it, man. I'm on there shouting and yelling about soccer. So come on.
Go follow him, guys. He's got good takes. He's got good threads. Especially good and bad when the team's playing good and bad. He has great threads about what's going on with the USMNT.
Hey, and I got some bad takes too, guys. So it's all good. Come argue with me about those too.
He's open to debate. We debate all the time: basketball, soccer, all things in between. Make sure you guys go follow him. He's a good friend of mine. He puts up some good stuff. Adam, I appreciate it, my friend. You guys have a good day. USMNT 6 months away. We'll see what happens, guys. Till next time. See you all soon.